talk about how to use the Nspire to find the slope and the Y-intercept. So the first thing I want to do is I want to always go to list and spreadsheets. And you can actually see that right here. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to create a table. And I want to create an XY table. So let me put an X right there. And let me place a Y right there. Okay. Now I'm just going to use some random numbers right now. I'm going to use 0 and 2. And then 3 and 5. I keep it even something smaller. Let me use 4 instead. Okay. So make sure you highlight one of the numbers. And what we want to do is we want to press menu 3, 9, which creates a quick graph. Now, when we talk about this graph right here, it's just showing one quadrant of a whole coordinate plane. Okay. And, you know, some of you guys, I talked to you about basically how a stock market is. When you see those analyses, it's really a coordinate plane. So let's go in here and let's change that variable to X. And then I'm going to change this to Y. Now I got my points right here. And you can actually see that's 3, 4. And then that's 0, 2. This is also a good way to verify, hey, do I have the exact points on here correctly? All right. Now, what I want to do now is I want to go back and I want to press menu, analyze, regression, and show linear. Now, I can look at this and I can tell that my slope is 0.66667 and my y-intercept is 2. And basically, I can also move this around with no problems, just as I'm showing you now. And remember, your slope is always next to that variable x whenever we're talking about how to find the slope and the y-intercept. Now, this is this is the way that we can find slope, but there's one key thing with this. I want to show you guys how to save this, okay? Because, for instance, let's say you click the home button and then you go back to it, it automatically adds a new page. And you're sitting there thinking, oh man, I done lost my work. All this hard work I just did, I done lost it. No, you actually haven't. The Nspire will always add a new page whenever you are going outside of list of spreadsheets and coming back in. But we got a very easy solution to that. So let's go back to that page and we can actually see everything. Okay. And let me press Control up. And as you guys notice, let me go back to this. To go between the pages, I press Control forward. And I can press Control back to go in between the pages. But let me delete that second page, which is 1.2. I press Control up, slide over, and just press delete. And then I click back on it. And now, what we want to do is we want to always save this right here. Let's save this as Slopey. So File, Save As. And I'm going to save this as Slopey, which is basically slope and y-intercept put together. I just name it Slopey. Real easy way to remember everything. All right. Now, yours will not prompt you with that stance that it just presented. The reason mine was that saying something about overwrite is because I had already completed a problem doing the same process and saved it. But when you save this, whenever I go out, let's say I press the home button. If I go back to my documents this time, let me go to my documents. And I'm going to click on Slopey. It doesn't add a new page. It keeps everything in there. And that's going to be really important because when we talk about sorting, you want to save that as a certain type of file. So it's easy to identify where you're not having to do all these steps such as menu, 3, all those different things. You don't have to do that over and over. The only thing we need to do is just change the numbers in here now. So let's look at an example at this very moment. I want to take a look at this graph right here. So whenever we see a graph like this, and it's asking me to basically find the slope, all I want to do is I want to pick 2 easy points to identify. I don't need to pick a point that's halfway right here because I don't know what that is. That may be negative 1.5 and 3.5 for my ordered pairs. It could be negative 1.75, but I don't want to pick that. I want to pick one that's very easy to identify. And basically, I want to pick one that crosses right in the middle of a cross. So I see that one crosses right in the middle of that cross, and that number is negative 3 and 4. So let me put that there. Negative 3 and 4. Okay. Now, let me pick another point. I'm going to pick this point right here, which is 0, 3. All right. So let me put 0, 3 right here. And you're going to notice that these numbers are automatically changing over here. You see how everything is changing? When the table changes, you can see all these points also change. And now you see my new slope is negative 0.333. And you're looking at that saying, okay, so I can eliminate C and D. Obviously, if it's a decimal without a whole number, I know it's going to be a fraction form. But let's just be sure that that's correct. So let me press the home button. And I'm just going to put that answer choice in there. Let me put negative 1/3 in the calculator. Negative 1/3. And I press Control Enter. And I see that's the same answer I got for my slope. So that's how I can determine my answer on that. Go back to my documents, Slopey, and I see my answer is right there. And that's how we find the answer from find the slope and the y-intercept from a table. And we can also see some things right here, and we can go into further analysis from that. Now, let's take a look at one that has a horizontal table now. Now, a lot of times, horizontal tables trip our students up. But simply put, that goes X, these are all X, this is all Y. So let's put some of those numbers in there. So that first number is 0 and negative 2 for the Y. The next number is 1 and the Y is 5. And finally, we got 3 and 19. Whoa, wait. I don't see my points in here now. What happens with this kind of problem is, there's nothing wrong with it. Basically, if I use the same order pair, the same coordinates, basically the same points, as far as my numbers down here, as far as my range, it's a lot smaller compared to some of these numbers right here. Okay? It's nothing to fear. All I need to do is click on the table. So you see I click on the table. And I want to press menu 5, 2. By pressing menu 5, 2, now it exposes everything. Now you can see all your points. And on this particular problem, our slope in that one is going to be 7, and our y-intercept is negative 2. And this is how we complete the process to find slope and y-intercept. Thank you.